live is starting, but it has not yet started. Oi, here we are. Hey everybody, it's Yasmin Boland. How are you going? Who am I? I am a best-selling Hay House author of books including the Moonology Diaries, the Oracle cards, best-selling Oracle cards in the world, so I'm told very reliably by lots of interesting people. And I thought what I would do today is I would get on here and tell you about the astrology for the week ahead, but also I want to tell you about the fact that I have a course which you can get about Moonology. So if you're into Moonology, I'll tell you about that as well. Let me just say we are now in the waning cycle, if you didn't already know. The waning cycle is the period from the full moon to the new moon. And I've been kind of getting carried away doing lives talking about the fact that we're coming up to this new moon eclipse, which is kind of exciting because it's going to be a really good opportunity for manifesting. So if you're into manifesting, I am too, and moon manifesting is probably the best way to manifest because you actually use the timings that magical women in particular have used literally for millennia. And I was starting to talk about the fact that the new moon is coming up in the sign of Sagittarius, but a few kind of cosmic signs happened which reminded me that no, focus on where we are now. And where we are now is we have just had the full moon eclipse in the sign of Taurus. These are my beautiful new Moonology manifestation cards, if you haven't heard about them yet. And it was kind of interesting because this card has come up twice in the last couple of days post the actual full moon in Taurus. And the message here is really powerful. It's detoxify. So one thing I talked about at the time of the full moon a couple of days ago is the fact, being the full moon in Taurus, very, very much a time to be letting go of any money blocks that you might have, any mindset that you might have, which is stopping you from achieving the flow of abundance into your life, so to speak. You know, if you're struggling financially, use this period now to release money blocks. And the way to do it, as the card says, is to detoxify. So have a think about where in your life, why you might have money blocks in your life, what went on in your childhood that maybe is blocking you, has caused you to become blocked when it comes to money. Who do you need to forgive? What do you need to forget? You know, it's the old thing. If you grew up in a house where you were constantly told, well, money doesn't grow on trees, then that's what you need to do. So this is all part of the whole full moon in Taurus that we have just had, full moon eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And we're now in the waning cycle, which is breathing out time. So before I go any further, I do want to do a card in a minute, and I will see if anybody has any questions in the comments. But I also want to tell you a little bit about my course that I'm doing, which is the Moonology certification course. Now, I don't know if I'm going to find it, but I keep getting this particular card, which is it's from my new deck. Maybe it's the last card. No. But basically what it says is you've got to look at the details of life. Tune into the details. It's all in the details. And so I thought what I would do today is I would tell you a few of the details about my course for anyone who's kind of on the fence about maybe doing my course. You only have until midnight tonight Pacific time to get $200 off it. That's 50% off the usual fee. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about it. So the first thing to say is that the course is very much a mixture of magic. So you're going to learn how to work with the moon, how to work with the new moon and the full moon and the quarter moon, through all the signs and the houses, all that you would expect from a Moonology course. But it's not just about magic, and it's not just about manifesting, it's not just about meditations. All that stuff is in there, all the magic is in there, but it's also some quite hardcore learning, which is why at the end of it, assuming you do the quiz and get all the questions right, or at least I think 90% of the questions right, we will actually issue with a certificate So you will be a certified moonologer, and you can't just go around calling yourself a moonologer. We've actually you can't, but you can if you do the course and you get the results. And so obviously for people who are like yoga teachers or Reiki masters or coaches or just, you know, herbalists, anyone who wants to help people, helps people as clients, or even if you just want to help family and friends, this will equip you to actually call yourself a moonologer and to know how to actually help people using the moon, looking at people's charts, giving them readings and so on. But it is a mixture of magic, because there is a load of magic. The moon is magic, but there's also hardcore learning. So I thought I'd tell you that. Another concept I'll be explaining is how the moon is a cosmic timer. And one of the ways that I learned this, because people always say, how does astrology work anyway? What is astrology? I'll answer that question. What's moonology? Answer that question. What's a horoscope? I'll answer that. But, you know, people think, is it because the planets like have some pull on us? And I don't know, some of you who are in the USA might not know him, but here in the UK and in Australia, an astrologer a late great astrologer called Jonathan Caner was very, very well loved. And he was a mentor of mine. I'm very lucky to have been able to have him as a mentor. And he and I talked about it, and he had the theory, and he's totally sold me on it. We don't know how astrology works, but it appears to be a cosmic timer. So you can see the skies as a kind of a clock, and the planets are like the big hand and the little hand and the seconds hand, for those of you old enough to remember old-fashioned watches. And it's all it's all about cosmic timing. So it's starting to learn, okay, so, you know, every June the new moon takes place in my first house, or every January the new moon takes place in my love zone, or, you know, every March the new moon takes place in my home zone, or whatever. And learning how the moon, the new moon, the full moon moves around your chart, new moon for manifesting, full moon for releasing it all to the divine, and how to incorporate moonology and astrology into your daily life. And of course, as I said, I'll be doing all the things like, you know, the new moon through all the 12 signs of the zodiac. What does that mean? The full moon through all the 12 signs of the zodiac. What does that mean? But we're also going to do other things like looking at all of this in the context of the fact that, you know, did you know that up until about 500 years ago, well, for millennia, women, especially magical women, some enlightened men, but largely magical women, have worked with the moon to make wishes, create spells, set intentions. And about 500 years ago, for whatever reason, I don't want to get too political here, but, you know, basically doing this stuff could get you burnt alive at the stake in the village square with your children watching. You know, just let that sink in. You would be drowned or hanged for doing this kind of thing. You know, like someone, aka the patriarchy that was in power, really didn't want us to do this anymore, which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, and literally started murdering women for doing this. And so one of the things I do in the course is I put this in context so you understand the traditions that you're working with. So, you know, like I said, it's magic, it's hardcore learning, there's history. You'll learn about, you know, what's a void of course moon? How do you tell when the moon is void of course? What about all those folkloric moons, the beaver moon and the strawberry moon? What about all of those? What else have we got? Oh, yeah, I wanted to say, no astrology needed. This is actually created a course for people who don't know anything about astrology. No maths is needed. And of course, you'll learn about things like the 8 main phases of the moon, creating an altar, the power of ritual, how to do a 12-month new moon planner, all that. It's all in there. And if you order it before midnight tonight Pacific time, that's about I think about 8 a.m. UK time and about 7 p.m. Australian time, and then it really is done. We do this once a year and then it's done, and I don't know if we'll ever do it again, maybe. You get 50% off, $200 saved. So, you know, up to you. If you want to learn about how to work with the moon, then I think you're going to find it a pretty amazing course to do. So what I thought I would do is I would do a card for anyone who's watching, who's on the fence about doing the course. I'm going to take this card. Anyone who's on, oh, interesting. Anyone who's on the fence. So if you're on the fence about doing the course and wondering if you should do it, I'm going to give you the card in a minute. I'm just going to tell you as well, this week, the astrology of the week ahead, everything's going to get lighter and brighter. The Sun and Mercury are moving into the very cheerful sign of Sagittarius. I'm going to say Happy-tarius, Sagittarius, so that's good. And also, just by the way, if you've had some issues with someone, Saturn is making a harmonious connection to Chiron, the wounded healer, this week. So it's actually a week for healing. All right, so if you're on the fence, I just want you to say out loud or put it in the comments, yes, I'm on the fence. Are you on the fence about doing the course? Because I have a card here for you. It's actually a really good card because it's very much what the course is all about. So are you ready? Are you on the fence? Are you doing it? You're not doing it? Anyway, here is the card. 3, 2, 1. Speak your world into being. Now, I find this a really interesting card for this question, because actually that's what this course is all about. It's about the fact that we can speak our world into being and that we can create our own reality and that we are manifesting 24/7, and manifesting with the moon just makes it so much easier. You know, we make new moon wishes, and set our intentions, and even just the fact of doing that, and I teach you how to make affirmations to go with your new moon wishes, which you can say for the month. And if you do that, you will start to speak your world into being. So I'm going to speak my world into being, that all the people who need this course, who are going to benefit from this course, will sign up for this course and get it with 50% off, saving $200. I would like to speak into being that everybody who needs to find this course will find it today. And if you're listening right now, it may be you that also needs to speak your world into being by saying, I want to work with the moon, I want to create my own reality. Maybe you have a business as a healer or a coach or a Reiki specialist or a masseuse therapist who wants to tell their clients about moonology. You know, you just affirm, I am going to follow the moon to happiness. I'm going to follow the moon and boost my business, because once you start to understand the moon, it will truly change your life for the better. So there is the card for all of us, and the link for the course is of course in the description above, but let me just speak that into being as well. You can go to moonmessages.com/discount 21, the numbers 21, moonmessages.com/discount 21. And if you want to speak your life into being, I would love to teach you how to do it, because it really is possible. If you're on the Hay House page, you already know that, because Hay House people know that we are creating our own reality. So I would like to speak it into being that if you need to do this course, you will find the resources you need to do it. You can watch it at your own pace. I'll be doing live webinars throughout the next few weeks, so that if you've got questions, you can come on, you can ask me questions. Doesn't matter which time zone you're in, you can watch the thing at your own pace. You'll have lifetime access. So I speak it into being that everybody who needs to do this course right now will find it and sign up and get $200 off. So there you go. What are you speaking into being? Are you speaking into being creating your life with the moon, following the moon to happiness? All right, well, on that note, have a beautiful day, have a beautiful week, and I will see you soon. Lots of love.